Here's a full-length emotional story for your YouTube video, written to hook viewers right from the start, keep them engaged, and inspire them to like and subscribe by the end. Wait, don't scroll. Imagine losing the only job that keeps food on your child's plate, just because you chose kindness. That's exactly what happened to a single dad janitor who had no idea the young woman he helped in silence was actually a billionaire CEO. What happened next will leave you speechless. Watch till the end, and if this story touches your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories that change lives. James was a quiet man, a single father raising his 10-year-old daughter Lily. He worked long nights as a janitor at a corporate office building, barely making enough to cover rent and school fees. His hands were rough from endless scrubbing, his back always sore, but every time Lily smiled and hugged him, all the exhaustion faded. He lived for her, and she was his whole world after his wife passed away years ago. One rainy evening, James noticed a young woman sitting alone on the marble steps outside the building. She was shivering, holding a broken heel in one hand and wiping away tears with the other. Most employees passed her without a glance, assuming she was just another stranger. But James, despite being in a rush to catch his last bus, stopped. "Are you okay, miss?" he asked gently. Her eyes lifted, red and tired. I lost my phone, my wallet. Everything. And I don't know who to call." James could see the panic in her voice. Without thinking, he offered, "Look, I don't have much, but you can come inside until the rain stops. I'll make you some tea from the break room." She hesitated, but his sincerity melted her doubt. For the next hour, James quietly listened as she spoke about the pressures of life, people using her, and the loneliness she felt despite being surrounded by crowds. He didn't know who she really was. To him, she was just a young woman in need of kindness. He handed her his umbrella when she left, saying with a smile, "My daughter and I can share the rain. You need this more than we do." The next day, James's supervisor called him into the office. "James, we had complaints. They said you were seen letting strangers into the building and giving away company property. You know the rules." James's heart sank. He tried to explain, but the decision was final. He was fired on the spot. Walking home that evening, James wondered how he'd tell Lily. She was waiting at the door, homework spread out on the table, asking, "Daddy, did you bring the chocolate milk?" He forced a smile and nodded, though he had used his last few dollars for it. He couldn't let her see the storm inside him. That night, while she slept, he sat alone, wondering how he'd pay rent next week. Days turned into weeks. James picked up odd jobs, mopping in small shops, carrying boxes for warehouses, but nothing steady. He grew thinner, worn down, but he never let Lily see him break. She once hugged him and whispered, "Daddy, you're my hero. You always make things okay." He broke down in tears after she fell asleep. Then, one afternoon, a sleek black car stopped outside their worn apartment building. James thought it was a mistake until the window rolled down. It was her, the young woman he had helped that rainy night. She stepped out, dressed sharply but with a warmth in her smile. "Mr. James," she said softly, "I owe you more than you realize." Confused, James asked, "How do you know where I live?" She smiled. "Because I looked for you. You didn't just help a lost woman that night, you helped me remember what real kindness looks like. I'm Ava Sinclair, CEO of Sinclair Enterprises." James froze. The name was everywhere, in news, in billboards. Billionaire. One of the youngest and most powerful women in the country. And yet, that night, he had treated her like a human being, not like a title. "I heard what happened at your job," she continued, her voice trembling with emotion. "You lost everything because you helped me. That isn't fair. I want to make it right." James shook his head. "Miss, I didn't help you for reward. I did it because it was the right thing. And that's exactly why you deserve this," she said, handing him an envelope. Inside was not just a job offer, but a leadership position managing facilities for her company, with a salary he had never dreamed of. James's hands shook. This is too much." "No," Ava said firmly, "this is exactly what people like you deserve. People who remind the world that kindness still matters." The months that followed were life-changing. James no longer struggled to put food on the table. He bought Lily books she had always wanted, took her to the park without worrying about bus fare, and for the first time in years, slept peacefully at night. Ava often visited, becoming more like family than a distant CEO. She had her own battles with loneliness, and in James and Lily, she found something money could never buy: genuine care. One evening, as James tucked Lily into bed, she whispered, "Daddy, you told me heroes don't wear capes, but you're my hero. And maybe, Miss Ava's too." Tears welled in his eyes as he kissed her forehead. For the first time, he realized that losing his old job wasn't the end, it was the beginning of something greater. And to everyone watching right now, sometimes the smallest act of kindness can change a life in ways you never imagined. So never underestimate your good deeds. If this story touched you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs hope today. Because just like James, you never know whose life you might change, or who might change yours.